And breaking news tonight, the FCC has unanimously voted 5-0 to ban U.S. telecom companies from using federal subsidies to buy or maintain equipment made by Chinese telecom companies Huawei and ZTE, labeling those companies a national security threat. The FCC also beginning the process that would force U.S. telecom companies to replace existing Huawei and ZTE products, a process that could cost more than $2 billion over 2 years. Well, joining us tonight, the chairman of the Federal Communications Commission. He's been focused on the issue of telecom and other companies using taxpayer money to buy from companies that pose national security risks to the United States for years. Commission Chairman Ajit Pai led that 5-0 vote today and joins us here tonight. Great to see you.
Great to be with you.
Congratulations on the vote.
Thank you.
A clear-cut statement of putting U.S. national security, national interest above commercial interest. And congratulations to you and the Commission for doing so.
Well, thank you. It's a unanimous vote, and I think it speaks to the fact that when it comes to the national security of our communications network, we do not know a party affiliation. This is about the security of the country.
It is about the security of the country. Last week, the Attorney General of the United States announcing clearly that both these companies, Huawei and ZTE, posed a national security threat. In fact, he went further and said it's the conduct of the People's Republic of China that also goes into his assessment of their national security threat and the risk posed. How far is this going to go, and what are the next steps for the United States? These two companies have been featured prominently by the Chinese in their efforts to drive a potential espionage in this country and into the countries of our allies around the world.
Each of those two companies you mentioned has ties to the Chinese Communist Party and military. Each of them has engaged in conduct like intellectual property theft and bribery and corruption. Each of them is subject to China's national intelligence law, which requires them to secretly comply with requests from China's intelligence services. And so going forward, we propose to ban the use of FCC funding from being used by U.S. telecom companies on equipment or services from those two companies. And looking backwards, we want to understand if there is existing network equipment from those companies and to figure out how to rip and replace it. This is not a risk that we can simply indulge in this country.
That is, and it has to be something that nearly every American is rejoicing upon hearing the chairman of the FCC say that. But we also are looking at a whole government here, the United States government. Is it a whole government effort that we're witnessing, or is it somewhat ad hoc still? In the midst of trade talks between the United States and China, in the midst of foreign policy concerns articulated by Secretary of State Pompeo recently in a speech declaring China's threats to this country is simply unacceptable.
All I can speak to is what the SEC believes. And from our perspective, these two companies, the entire government of China, presents a national security risk to the United States. And working with some of our federal partners, I've done many trips abroad where we've presented a coherent and consistent message to our allies around the world.
What's the response?
The response has been generally favorable. Other countries understand the risk, even if they haven't said so publicly, and they understand that they need to evaluate the risk to their own national security when it comes to incorporating equipment from untrusted vendors into their networks.
There's also a competitive risk here and a structural risk. That is, the companies that we assumed would be in the lead in this country on 5G, AT&T principal among them, haven't been hitting the markers and their projections. What does this mean competitively? What does it mean for the adaptation that will be necessary for U.S. telecom?
So from our perspective, we've been implementing what we call the FCC's 5G Fast Plan, getting more spectrum into the commercial marketplace, making it easier to deploy infrastructure of the future, putting in place the building blocks for any company, whether it's an existing wireless operator or new entrants, to be able to bid at spectrum auctions and to deploy that infrastructure at scale. And so we're working with all of the companies to give them a full and fair fair chance to compete. We want to make sure that every American company has the maximum incentive to develop and deploy 5G technologies here on our shores as opposed to other countries.
Are you concerned by what has been a lag on 5G by U.S. companies?
I think we are well positioned. We're positioned to have approximately 92 commercial deployments by the end of this year, 200,000 small cells. Spectrum is getting into the commercial marketplace at a quick rate. And so I'm hopeful, although we still need to maintain that lead vis-a-vis China and other countries that want to seize that opportunity for themselves.
And rural farm communities that are desperate for lower priced Huawei ZTE type equipment, is it replaceable, and is there a possibility, because Wilbur Ross, talking on this broadcast this week, the Secretary of Commerce, very concerned about the implications for those rural communities who frankly just have a disadvantaged position when it comes to telecom period, but to 5G in particular.
That's a concern that I share, not just as a regulator, but as a rural American myself, having grown up in rural Kansas. But at the end of the day, one of the things we want to make sure is that our communications networks are secure, whether it's urban or rural. We are working with the rural carriers to make sure that they have a financing mechanism in place to have trusted vendors. And at the end of the day, my message to them, to anybody, is pretty simple. The only problem with cheap equipment from Huawei and ZTE is it eventually costs too much. And especially when it comes to the security of our country, I don't think that we can simply take a risk and hope for the best. We need to make sure that rural carriers and all of us are on the same page.
And to bear out the FCC chairman, the Attorney General said this in his letter to the FCC. In point of fact, the Attorney General writing, "We should not signal that Huawei and ZTE are anything other than a threat to our collective security. Their own track record, as well as the practices of the Chinese government, demonstrate that Huawei and ZTE cannot be trusted." And again, congratulations on that 5-0 vote. Good for you, good for the commission.
Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it.
Good for the country.